Hi class, in lesson 16.2 you will be determining when to use the mean, median, or mode. Learning targets for today, you will calculate the mean, median, and mode from a graphical display of data and determine when to use the mean, median, or mode to describe a data set. Please turn to page 1082, problem 1, comparing the means and medians of two data sets. Previously, you determined the balance points and calculated the means of various data sets. Keeping that in mind, answer number 1 through 4 with your group members. For number 1, here is what your first line plot should look like when you graph the numbers 2, 3, 5, and 6. You will place a triangle underneath the number 4 in order to represent the balance point or mean. And here is what your second line plot should look like when you graph the numbers 2, 3, 5, and 10. You are placing a triangle under the number 5 to represent the balance point or mean. For number 2, the mean is going to increase when the data value of 6 is replaced with the data value of 10. For number 3, the median for each data set is 4. And for number 4, the median stays the same when the data value of 6 is replaced with the data value of 10. Please answer number 5. With your group members, you will be plotting the data sets on the two separate number lines. For number 5, here is what your dot plot should look like for set 1, and here is what your dot plot should look like for set 2. Please check over your dot plots with your group members to make sure that your X's are properly placed on the number line. Please turn to page 1083, answer letter B with your group members. If we look at letter B, for set 1 the mean is 55, and for set 2 the mean is 50. As far as your explanation, you are determining the mean by identifying the balance point. We remember that the mean is the arithmetic average of the numbers that are in a data set. So in order to calculate the mean, we are going to add all of the values in the data set and divide the sum by the number of values. For set 1, the median is 55, and for set 2, the median is 55. Remembering that the median is the middle number in a data set when the values are placed in order from least to greatest, we can determine the median by seeing that there are 5 data points on the dot plot, and 55 is in the middle of those 5 points. And for set 1, there are 2 modes, 50 and 60, and for set 2, the mode is 60. Remembering that the mode is the data value or values that occur most frequently in a data set. For set 1, you can determine the mode by seeing that there were 2 X's for both 50 and 60, and for set 2, you can determine the mode by seeing that there were 2 X's above 60. Please answer letters C, D, and E with your group members. For letter C, the medians are the same for each data set. For letter D, the means are different for each data set. The mean for set 2 is less than the mean for set 1. And for letter E, the medians are the same because the median describes the middle number in a data set. It is not affected by the values of the least and greatest numbers in the data set. The means are different because the mean is the balance point in a data set. If there are extreme values that are not close to the other values in the data set, the mean moves toward that extreme value in order to balance the data. Please turn to page 1084 and answer number 6 and number 7 with your group members. If we look at set 1 for number 6, the distribution is symmetric. For number 7 for set 1, the graph is symmetric, and the mean and the median are both the same in the middle of the graph. For number 6 for set 2, the distribution is skewed left. For number 7 for set 2, that tells us that the median is closer to where most of the data is. The mean is less than the median and less than most of the data values. At the bottom of page 1084, let's start problem 2. In the middle, part 2. Number 1 says, previously you examined a data set about the number of minutes students at Sharp Middle School exercise. The data are shown here. Please answer letter A with your group members. Here is what your dot plot should look like for letter A. Again, please check over and make sure that you have the correct number of X's and they are properly placed on the number line. Please turn to page 1085 and answer letter B with your group members. For letter B, we are going to agree with Karen's statement because the greatest number in the data set is 300 minutes, which is far away from the other values in the data set. Therefore, the mean is affected by this data point. The median will be closer to where most of the data values are because it is not affected by the 300 data value. Please answer letters C, D, E, and F with your group members. For letter C, there are two modes, 30 minutes and 60 minutes. Both of these values have 3 X's on the dot plot. For letter D, there are 15 numbers on the graph. Starting with the least or greatest number, the median will be the 8th number with 7 numbers above it and 7 numbers below it. Again, we have to make sure that our data is in numerical order. So the median is 40 minutes. For letter E, the mean for the data set is 59.67. In order to determine the mean, you are going to add all the data values together and then divide the sum by 15, which is the number of data points. And for letter F, the median would be a better measure to describe the center of the exercise data because it is not affected by the value of 300. The mean increases because of the value of 300. That value is only representing one student, and the remaining students all exercised a lot less than that. The median is also closer to the middle of where most of the data are. Please turn to page 1088, problem 3, mean or median, which is greater and when. Previously, you learned about 3 common distributions of data, skewed left, skewed right, and symmetric. You have also learned that the distribution of data can determine when the mean or median is greater or less than the other. Let's look at the diagrams shown. When my distribution is skewed right, the mean of a data set is greater than the median when the data is skewed to the right. The median is the best measure of center because the median is not affected by very large data values. The mean and median are equal when the data is symmetric. In this case, the mean is the best measure of center that we want to use. The mean of a data set is less than the median when the data is skewed to the left. The median is the best measure of center because the median is not affected by very small data values. Please turn to page 1089, answer number 1, letters A through C with your group. For number 1, letter A, the distribution of the data is symmetric and the mean is about equal to the median. For letter B, the distribution of the data is skewed right. The mean is greater than the median. And for letter C, the distribution of the data is skewed right, which means that the mean is greater than the median. Please turn to page 1090 and answer number 2 with your group. For number 2, back in part A, we should use the mean because the graph is symmetric. And for part B and part C, we should use the median because the graph is skewed. This will conclude today's lesson 16.2 on determining when to use the mean, median, or mode. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.